Who has traveled to Karenga or Kotido or Abim and or other poverty-ravaged areas in Karamoja and seen the misery there, I'm sure they're still questioning why those thieves are still in office. I'm personally wondering and shocked that those Ugandans that protested the theft are in prison today, but the thieves are in office, they're being guarded and rewarded. That's where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, implementing these proposals requires a change in the allocation of resources, so we must cut spending in areas that do not necessarily contribute to the well-being of our people. We should not continue wasting money buying tear gas and killing machines, because these are just for terrorizing our people. We need to use our money better. It is not logical, ladies and gentlemen, that the police and the military were allocated 9 trillion in this current budget. 9 trillion for police and the military. And the agriculture sector, which employs over 70% of Uganda's working population, was allocated only 1.4 trillion. We must restore hope in the thousands of young Ugandans who line up every day at Entebbe Airport in search for better life outside Uganda. And unfortunately, many of them, as you've seen, end up facing more indignity and more humiliation outside Uganda. Of course, with no protection and care whatsoever from the authorities here. We must increase the domestic revenue by cracking down on corruption. My sister has mentioned that we lose 10 trillion to corruption. It could be more, because in Uganda, you can't even trust the numbers that they cook up every day. But we must increase the domestic revenue by, cracking down corruption and implementing a fair tax system. And that way, we shall collect much more than the 25.8 trillion, which you all know cannot even finance half of our national budget. So I want to invite all of you, ladies and gentlemen, especially civil society organizations and private sector players, to engage with us in the process of liberating our country and directing our country's destiny. I am very confident that the alternative budget offers a viable roadmap, and to that end, it also addresses the most pressing economic issues of the country. I, however, must tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that the alternatives that you've heard from the leader of opposition and the adumbrations from fellow leaders, they are all brilliant. They are very good, but they cannot work in isolation. And that is why we must dedicate a significant portion of our efforts towards dislodging Museveni and ending the Museveni dictatorship. And this is the reason. It's because no matter how brilliant our alternative policies may be, they simply cannot be implemented under a dictatorship whose main preoccupation is keeping power and nothing else. Once the regime falls, I am sure Ugandans will come together and discuss how they want to be governed and how they want to, allocate the massive, massive resources. We are very rich as a country. In fact, let me put it better. Our country is very, very rich, but we are very poor. Why? Because we are ruled by thieves. And the top thief, we all know him. That is General Museveni. I won't be shy to say so. So I want to thank you for listening to me, ladies and gentlemen. We've had the beautiful speeches. We've had the beautiful proposals, but they cannot work. They can't be implemented because we are being ruled by thieves. Their issue, their intention is not to see Uganda develop. Your life is not the issue. And that's why I'm very, very proud of you, Honorable Mpuuga, and your team for making even the theme of your budget proposal a human rights-driven proposal, a human rights-driven budget. I thank you very much for listening to me, for God and my country.